Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines.
Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bakr Qalibaf says that Tehran must develop plans to overcome what he called unjust sanctions imposed by the United States. His remarks came a day after U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced what he described as the toughest sanctions ever imposed on Iran, with details expected Monday. Qalibaf accused the U.S. and Israel of waging economic and cognitive warfare against Iran and called for stronger economic ties between Tehran and Baghdad. He also proposed using Iranian and Iraqi currencies in bilateral trade to reduce reliance on the US dollar. China has urged the United States and Iran to resolve their dispute through negotiations after Washington announced what it called the toughest sanctions in history against Tehran. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said Friday that military action, sanctions and pressure would only increase tensions and do not serve the interests of any party. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Washington would use its full might and force against countries found transferring money, buying oil, or facilitating maritime trade with Iran. He warned nations they would face a choice of being with us or against us. Meanwhile, Qatar's foreign minister has calling for an end to what he described as blackmail over the Strait of Hormuz, saying that shipping must return to pre-war conditions. Speaking in Egypt, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani warned that the consequences of the conflict had spread far beyond the Gulf, affecting the wider world. He also said that freedom of navigation must not be held hostage to political pressure. The United States imposed fresh sanctions on Lebanon's Hezbollah on Thursday, accusing the group of acting on behalf of Iran's government and its Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Quds Force. The Treasury Department also sanctioned 10 people accused of smuggling cash for Hezbollah, including a Turkish businessman allegedly managing a regional network of couriers and exchange houses linked to the group. The move comes as President Donald Trump warns countries against providing support to Iran. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Washington is preparing what he called the toughest sanctions in history against Tehran. Hezbollah, founded by Iran's Revolutionary Guards in 1982, remains both a political party and armed group in Lebanon. PTY founder Imran Khan was shifted back to Adiala jail after undergoing a medical examination at Payam's hospital in Islamabad, according to jail sources and Federal Information Minister Atullah Tarar. Khan was taken to the hospital after midnight under tight security following a Supreme Court order. A team of specialists, including a cardiologist, ophthalmologist, and physician, examined him, with his sister Dr. Uzma Khan and personal physician Dr. Faisal Sultan also involved. Tarar said Khan was declared medically fit and returned to Adiala jail at around 5 a.m. He said PIMS was used instead of Al-Shifa Hospital because of security concerns linked to PTI workers gathered along the route and outside the facility. Nancy Kissinger, wife of late former U.S. Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, has died at the age of 92 at her home in South Kent, Connecticut, according to the New York Times. Born Nancy Sharon McGinnis in Manhattan in 1934, she frequently accompanied her husband on diplomatic trips and at meetings with world leaders, state dinners, and White House events. Nancy and Henry Kissinger had no children together. She is survived by 2 stepchildren and 5 step-grandchildren. Henry Kissinger, a major and controversial figure in U.S. foreign policy during the Cold War, died in 2023 at the age of 100.
Bangladeshi lawmakers have elected veteran Bangladesh Nationalist Party leader Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir as the country's new president, marking a major political transition after his party came to power. Alamgir, a long-time opposition figure and senior BNP leader, will now serve as Bangladesh's head of state following his election by lawmakers. His appointment comes after a significant shift in the country's political landscape, with the BNP moving from years in opposition to government. China urged the US to immediately withdraw Section 232 tariffs it imposed on imports of drones and related components. A Chinese Commerce Ministry spokesperson said the tariffs treat related Chinese products in a discriminatory manner and seriously harms the interests of Chinese companies. He added that China firmly opposes this.
At least 17 people were killed and more than 40 injured after Russia launched a massive overnight missile and drone attack on Kyiv and surrounding areas. President Volodymyr Zelensky blamed shortages of air defense missiles, saying each additional interceptor could save lives as Ukraine again urged allies to replenish its Patriot stocks.
Total US debt has topped $40 trillion for the first time, drawing fresh warnings that a fiscal crisis is brewing as ballooning costs for social safety net programs and interest payments far outstrip revenues held back by tax cuts. The Treasury Department's latest daily cash and debt balances statement showed total public debt outstanding at $40.047 trillion on Tuesday, a total that includes Treasury securities held by the public of $32.266 trillion and intra-governmental debt holdings of $7.782 trillion. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan plan to move back to Britain this month, 6 years after they stepped down from their royal duties and relocated to the US. A source close to the couple said the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were moving with Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet from California to Britain for an extended period, and the children would begin school there in September. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.